All right, I'm Brian with glutenfreehomebrewing.com. Today we have Cale with the Zero Tolerance Homebrew Club joining us. We're doing a tasting of For the Love of Biscuit, which is basically a malt forward proof beer, like meaning like not proof of concept, but just like figuring out what this malt tastes like because we're using the 4L biscuit malt. And I wanted to really get a sense of what I consider to be a new base malt to be and what it really tastes like. So up until now, I've been using a lot of biscuit in a lot of different beers. And this is potentially a really good alternative for a lot of different beer styles because it has that nice bready and malty flavor, both aroma and taste. So I brewed mine, I believe, in a rising step mash using Andia Pro. Still working out the glitches on that. On this one, I did have kind of like a higher final gravity. The beer before that fermented out great, so still working on that. And then you have a bottle diversion. This is off my keg, and I sent you a bottle, and let's see how we do.
Very, very carbonated. It is extremely clear. And
so might be worth mentioning that there was a little beer karma. So before we started recording, we were joking about how I had frozen the beer samples that I gave you a couple months back, and you essentially kind of did the same thing to this beer and then thawed it, and the cap seemed to be holding, and then it got warm again, so you threw it back in there. So maybe that might be attributing to what the results you're getting there.
It's ice aged for.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting here and my head was really nice and full and thick, and it hasn't dissipated yet. It's gone down, but we'll see how fast the head on that guy goes down because you've got.
And while that's going down, so from a malt perspective, this is all 4L rice malt.
It's 88% and change biscuit 4L, and then it was the rest is caramel millet. So the new, not the caramel millet, but the caramel millet.
Is it the 240, the darker one, the 240?
No, just the base.
Okay.
Caramel millet. Yep.
Okay. All right.
And I use very little hops because I wanted to get a sense for the malt itself.
It's got a really nice golden color to it. Very clear. Nice clear beer. No haziness in this one at all.
That's one thing I've noticed, and a lot of people have commented about the Andia Pro, is it makes some incredibly clear beer.
Did you get a good? What was your finishing gravity on this? Did you get good attenuation?
Not on this one. This one finished a little higher, but it's got a real nice. I mean, you can see it kind of like lacing the glass. It's got really nice body, really nice mouthfeel to it. The previous, I did a lager, my last use of Andia Pro, and that one had great attenuation. So not entirely sure what the issue is there.
I definitely get a nice hoppiness into that foam. Yeah, there's a little bit of sweetness in there in this beer. I can taste the sweetness in it. It's got a really nice malty flavor to it, though, for sure. The hoppiness is really subdued, for sure.
I think it was a total of the equivalent of an ounce total of hops for like a 5-gallon batch. I mean, it was really just minimal. Really wanted to emphasize the malt.
Yeah, I really taste a nice like caramely flavor to it, that really comes through. I brewed an IPA where it finished a little bit. So the most recent IPA that I did, and it had almost kind of an overpowering sweetness to this, but this one's just enough to make it not overpowering, where you could have maybe a couple of them without saying, "Oh, I'm I'm done." Right? So I think tastes really good.
And the lager in comparison, which was also Ondia Pro, not the Biscuit 4L, but Ondia Pro, that didn't have attenuation issues, didn't have that residual sweetness to it. So I'd be curious about using 4L, getting, anticipated, within range of attenuation, and see if that sweetness goes away, because I think that just has to do with the low attenuation from the yeast. That would be my thought anyway.
It's definitely interesting to use this as a base malt. I think from a base malt perspective, you've got like your pale millets, you got your pale rice. Now you could, theoretically, I've done even like kind of a Vienna Munich mix for a lager as a base malt, just done it that way. These other Biscuit rice malts, so there's 3 of them that have been introduced. Would you only use this 4L as a base malt, or would you use the other versions with a higher percentage of the grain bill, or would you avoid that?
So what I've noticed so far, I haven't brewed with the 15 and 18L. I know JP from Beerly Brewing has brewed with the 18L and has some good experiences with that. It doesn't. One idea that I have is because the 15L and the 18L are very close as far as color, but what I've noticed working with the malt so far, not having brewed with them, but just repackaging them and working with them, is they smell very different. Like, you wouldn't think there would be much difference with that 3-point difference, but to me, working with them, they seem to be distinct malts by themselves. So I need to brew with them. Really, they're new to me too.
The grains that were sent to me, the 4L ones that I first did, when I milled that 4L biscuit rice malt, I could immediately smell this beautiful kind of smell that I hadn't really gotten from any of the other rice malts for sure, right? So it made my whole garage smell just awesome. I really like this beer. It's giving me hope for the beer that I have in my keg. That's a lager that should be ready in another week or so.
And that's the 4L?
It's the 4L, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So I think the verdict is we're encouraged. It's new, so we're trying to figure out what we're doing with it. But for preliminary results, like first tastings, are encouraging.
Exactly. And this is a great opportunity for Brian to send me more beer, right? No, great job, Brian. This is tasting really
well, the malt does a really great job protecting the beer that I stick in the box for you.
Yeah, no, this is great. I'm glad that it made it the distance all in one piece, and it does give me hope for brewers being able to experiment with more. They have more options, right? If you get these other base malts out there, it really gives options that weren't there before. So, and I think you were saying that you had kind of driven the creation of these different styles, right? Of levels of biscuit rice malt, and so I guess we have you to thank for these being in existence. So that's awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I think the verdict is positive. I'm thinking that Zero Tolerance is probably going to be talking about this. So anybody that wants to get in on that action, the Zero Tolerance Facebook page is kind of like where a lot of that conversation takes place. And then you have your monthly meetings as well, which I think you do by Skype or Zoom, or I forget. I think it's Zoom.
Yeah, we do monthly meetings by Zoom. I'm going to be trying to be better about posting that information for folks that aren't on Facebook, which is the main source of our information. I'll also going to probably be posting that information to the Homebrew Talk gluten-free forum as well for other people that are non-Facebook folks, right? So,
Right. All right. Awesome. Well, thanks, Cale.
Yep. Thanks for having me. Cheers.
Cheers. Again, I'm Brian with glutenfreehomebrewing.com.